Hey, my name's Kyle Daniels. I'm the head of marketing at Assimilate, and we've been working with the guys at IBM to bring you some amazing content on data governance and AI. We hope you enjoy it. Hey everybody, and welcome to this fireside chat. I'm your host Kyle Daniels, and I'm here with Karl Mullins, one of the co-founders at Assimilate, and I wanted to talk to you today specifically about the data governance framework that you guys are putting in place at the minute. So probably for people that don't know, what is a data governance framework?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Yeah. So I'm glad you asked me that. We've been working in the IT and data world for some 20 plus years now. And what we've seen is the emergence of technologies, the emergence of infrastructure, environments, the cloud, all of these weird and wonderful things, and more recently AI, which is on the tip of everyone's tongue. So the key challenge then for businesses is how do we manage that? How do we contain it? How do we operate? And how do we operate within compliance, within regulation? How do we bring all of that together and still manage to operate our business, keep our eye on the ball, and align that with our business objectives, make sure that we're still making a profit, still making sure that we're watching that bottom line, and putting and implementing a data governance framework allows us to do that. It makes sure that we align ourselves, our operations, our practices and policies with any regulation or any of the guidance that's out there currently for our use of data, and it helps us understand how to use and get the best out of data within our organisation for the best effect, really.
Yeah. So how did this come about? So I imagine when you're looking at a new product or a new service or anything like that, are the conversations you have internally almost as if like we could use this ourselves?
Totally.
And then you think actually we then could create a product off this and then get this to our customers?
That's exactly how it was born. So the idea really was born out of that. So internally, we knew that we had a few things we could do better. We found a few gaps within our processes, what we should be doing, how we can help our customers better, and trying to formulate how we do that, how we structure it. And literally, that is a data governance framework. So internally, we're learning the lessons, we're doing these things, we're seeing that our practices and policies within the business just need a bit of polishing. We need to tidy this up and structure it. The best way to do that was to implement a data governance framework internally. So that's what we set about doing. Understanding, research, implement something internally that we understood worked. Then also our clients having the same problem, we were able to take it to market and understand their challenges, problems and pains in implementing a data governance framework. So really then eating our own dog food, as it were, and then able to go out and really relay and have that same empathy with organisations to then move them forward like we have in our business using that same data governance framework.
Is it a difficult, I'm thinking from a marketing head, is it a difficult thing to get out there and talk to people about? Because I imagine unless you know about it, unless you're feeling the pain, you've had a slap on the hand, there's a fine that's come through the door because you've not done something right, you probably don't know you need this sort of thing. Whereas actually, if you get ahead of it and you put something like this in place, it's going to save you headaches down the line. But how do you express that?
Exactly. There'll be CIOs, CFOs Googling all day, every day around the kind of challenges and pains they've got in the business. How do we manage and how do we keep and maintain compliance with data in the business, use of AI, etc. And they'll all come under sort of slightly different themes. It could be data security, data retention, it could be data quality, and really bringing all of that together is what the data governance framework does. So in reality, is that people are searching out there for how do we bring all of this together, and that's when the words like data governance frameworks, data governance, things are coming up in their search terms, and then they're finding organisations like ourselves and IBM who are in a position with tools and services to help them really. So that's really how people would engage and I would find our products and services that Assimilate offer in this space.
Yeah. So the conversations you're having with customers now, have you noticed almost like a trend of misconceptions that people might have about frameworks and how they work?
Totally. So the first big misconception is totally around time and complexity. It's really about, how long is it going to take? How complex is it going to be? We've never met one customer yet who's actually not doing anything in this area. So when you look at all of the verticals or all the different areas that are encompassed with the data governance framework, we've not really met one customer yet that's not doing something in that area. So those things then come for free. We're doing something. So all we have to do is just make sure that that's encompassing, it's following the guidelines, and that we just polish that to make sure that it fits into the framework. So that, in terms of the time and the cost in terms of putting a data governance framework, can be immediately eradicated. People are doing things. We're really surprised, actually, that they're doing quite a lot towards a data governance framework. It's just that they don't have a formal framework. The way I'd see that, or how we're engaging, which is getting a lot of interest in the market today, is that stakeholders are naturally reluctant with this. The elephant in the room is the time and the cost to do this. But where we're finding a lot of traction is that we're offering a health check service. So, much like you would yourself, go and have a health check ourselves out, how are we performing? We don't know what we don't know. So we're engaging with our clients, doing a health check, identifying those gaps. And where we find a gap where we could benefit from a piece of data governance, one of aligning with one of the pillars of data governance framework, is that we're identifying those gaps, and then we're putting an ROI and a cost-benefit analysis in there for it. We tend to find the low-hanging fruit and the sweet spots. There's really simple things that we can put in to get a real benefit in time to value. Quick and easy example for you is we can talk to an organisation about starting very small, data retention. We can talk to an organisation about what do you do around data retention, where you're storing it, how long are you storing it for. That is a pillar of a data governance framework. Once people start implementing that, taking a look at it, they can save money on costs on data retention, cloud costs, processing costs, all of those things. So instantly have a bottom line hit, and that can align then with other departmental goals, whether that be finance, whether that be the management team, etc. So what we tend to do is, if people are looking at this service, we would get that health check in there, we'd find some of the gaps, and then we'd find some low-hanging fruit or something that really aligns with a business objective of that organisation. So we're not doing it for the sake of doing it. What we're doing is we're saying there's a pain, there's a challenge in this business, there's a good reason for doing it, and there's generally a return on your investment for undertaking that particular project or that particular stream of data governance.
You mentioned earlier about the verticals and the pillars. Obviously, we don't want to go through all of them for time perspective, but for anyone watching and listening, are there certain ones that kind of really stand out that someone could kind of look at and go, oh, actually, that's something that we could get involved in there?
Brilliant. No, absolutely. I think for me, because I've spent most of my working life in data quality just really jumps out there for me. And again, talking about things that are on the tip of everyone's tongue, we've got AI, or the use of AI. So data quality in terms of accuracy, who doesn't want better data? Who doesn't want more data? Who doesn't want less frustrations within their business day, in their business operations? What we can do in a data governance framework or in our strategy is we can introduce AI tools, and in which case we can do really clever things. So simplistically, we can enhance your data. We can also check, and we can get the quality and accuracy of your data by creating small models that just go away, and we find things like missing duplicate records, things that are outliers and other things, and fix that. So internally then, when we're delivering our information back into the user's hands, so people who are looking at, why do I need a data governance framework? Data accuracy is one key thing. It makes everyone's life better. I don't need to go back. I trust the data. Customers now trust us. We can now make informed decisions with really accurate, trusted data as a result of having this framework in place and introducing and having things like an AI strategy as part of that data governance framework. Quick and easy things that can be implemented by organisations with some real benefits, real cultural business benefits as well.
So you've implemented a few now. So have you noticed any hurdles, or have you kind of come across challenges that you think they're going to come up in the future? Let's address them now and let people know in advance, just so they don't experience them.
Yeah, definitely. I think the key thing is stakeholder buy-in. Without a doubt, it's the elephant in the room. It's people, it's the cost, it's the time and resources to be able to implement a program. So what we do in our particular program and in our framework is we always start small, as we touched on a little bit earlier. We find a sweet spot. We find something where we can get a real time to value. We can reduce that as much as possible. And what we do is we would always tackle a small problem in the business and then scale out from there. So in any organisation, I think the one key hurdle for them is they look at it and they go, wow, there's so many pillars of things that we need to address. There's so many teams, there's so many departments, might be so many countries we're operating in. How do we actually get our head around this? And you can't do it all at once. You can't, how do you eat the elephant? You have to pick a piece each and every time and then scale out. So what we'll do is we'll pick one challenge in the business that's got some benefit, and then we'll just keep that in place, get the benefit, and then we'll roll out and we'll scale our plans accordingly. Whatever's appropriate, we will then work that out. So we tend to engage with clients and organisations now, not on the big agenda. The big agenda is our strategy, for sure. And then what we do is we break it down into nice tactical projects with a priority, with a budget, with a visible ROI. That's the way that we're starting to engage and really get good traction with businesses. And they're able to engage then, rather than go, oh my God, it looks so big, it's 300 days and we're going to do this, that and the other, and we need all of these things. We can break them down into small pots of 20 days here, 30 days there, might be a few £1,000 for different pieces or engagements of works, or their team can go away and do it themselves, quite easily put these things in place themselves. So we tackle it on that agenda. So all of these companies looking at going, it's too big, it's too wide, it's too deep, it's too broad. It's not the case. We can put something in quickly and easily, get some benefit, and then start rolling out on wider programs, wider agendas, wider strategies and pillars, etc.
And probably the final question, what do you see as the next big challenge when implementing data governance frameworks for people? Is there anything that you see now?
Yeah, I think the challenge now and in the future is obviously AI. How do we maintain and keep compliant whilst we're trying to implement AI strategies? Because that's a key. We're going to get benefit. We're using AI as a vehicle within our data governance, within our businesses. And how do we keep and maintain our compliance, our ethicals, and keep in line with our business objectives as well as our data governance objectives, and within the UK guidance and with EU law around these things. So it's how do they keep abreast of that? What can we do? How can we do it? What are the limitations? How do we test these things? How do we mitigate risks and bias? That's going to be, I think, the biggest challenge in implementing data governance frameworks, I think, now and in the future, is just to really get a good handle on that. Perfectly doable, and that is the nature and one of the benefits of having a robust data governance platform, is to be able to help and manage with that.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for spending the time with us, Karl, and talking us through the data governance framework. If people wanted to know more about it, where did they go? Quite simply, just go to our webpage, assimilate.com. There is a contact form on there. Fill it out, a couple of things, just name, email address, etc., and then we'll get back to you. Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Thank you.